This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here's my 30-second story with Guinness. As soon as my sister and I get home for the holidays, we don't even unpack. We head straight to our pub. The bartender already knows our order, Guinness and fries. We laugh all night, catch up with old friends, and walk home with faces sore from smiling. It's one of my favorite nights of the year. That was my 30-second story with Guinness.
Guinness Draft Stout. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by Diageo Beer Company, USA, New York, New York.
Brooks Running reminds us that we're all powered by something. Whether it's the me-time energy of a run after a day at the office, the electrifying energy of your first marathon, or the infectious energy of a group run with your friends. No matter what energy powers you, Brooks has gear specifically designed to unleash it. So lace up and let it out. Let's run there. Visit brooksrunning.com today to learn more.
The McDonald's snack wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch snack wrap. Spicy snack wrap. You broke the internet. For a snack. Snack wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is on now with awesome deals on their most popular models, including adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe Hybrid. There's also the stylish Elantra, packed with the latest tech. Or go electric with the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Welcome into Postgame Live. The Eagles are repeat division champs for the first time since, is it 2004? I already lost the date. Welcome into Postgame Live. I am your host, Shane Haff. You can give me a follow on Twitter at Shane Haff NFL. Joined by a special guest for this post-game show. Ryan might be joining us later, but we're not talking about him. We wouldn't call Ryan a special guest. We're joined by my son, Alan. So you can give him a follow on Twitter at... I'm just kidding. I'm not a derelict parent. My 10-year-old doesn't have Twitter. Alan, how are you doing this evening?
Good.
All right, so we're going to dive in. Alan's going to make a brief appearance, and then I'll take you guys through the rest of the game. But we got a question for you already, Alan, from Matthew. Wants to know, what did you think of the run game tonight?
It was pretty good. Saquon did good. Tank Bigsby got his first touchdown for the Eagles. Overall, it was pretty good.
All right, so the Eagles run game does get going. We go 34 carries for 207 yards, 6.1 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Ryan is hopping in here. I'll put headphones on so I can hear Ryan. Ryan, I'll throw it to you here in just a minute. I got to get Alan's thoughts real quick here on the game. He joined me here post-game. So, Alan, what's your top takeaway from the game tonight?
Saquon, he was pretty good tonight, and Saquon was good tonight. AJ was overall good. And Dallas Goedert, he tied a record for most touchdowns by a tight end in a season. Will Shipley was not very good, though.
Yeah, we gave Will Shipley a hard time while we were watching the game. So, Alan, every week at the end of the show, we ask people for their MVP pick for the game and a 3-word reaction to the game. So if you're awarding an MVP for this one, who do you give MVP to?
Probably Saquon Barkley.
All right, so we've got Saquon for the MVP. 21 carries, 132 yards, and a touchdown. And what about your 3-word reaction? Do you have a 3-word reaction for the game?
Repeat division champs.
There you have it, folks. Repeat division champs. I'm going to have to come up with a better one by the end of the show because that was a pretty good one. But Alan, tell the people goodbye. Tell them where they can find you on your podcasting platforms 10 years from now.
Okay. Bye. Follow me on Twitter.
All right. I may have also promised my daughter the opportunity to give a 3-word reaction, so she may pop in here in a minute.
All good.
Yep, here she is. Celine, do you want to give a 3-word reaction to the game? All right, tell the people on the mic.
Fly, eagle, fly.
There we have it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Good job.
A pretty good one.
All right. Thank you. All right, so we will dive into the rest of the post-game show. Ryan joining us now on his phone. We had some minor miscommunications on post-game stuff, and then I may or may not have told my kids, I was like, hey, I'm going solo. You guys want to join the show for a couple minutes? So thank you guys for indulging us on that. That seriously probably made their year.
Absolutely.
Let's dive into it here, Ryan. Of course, give Ryan a follow on Twitter at Philly Sports PSA 2. Ryan, the Eagles repeat as division champs. Is the NFC curse broken?
I would assume so, yes. Yeah, it was. It wasn't a great start to the game by any means. We clearly have a Jake Elliott problem. Not that we necessarily didn't know that we had one, but it sure was loud now after missing some of those kicks. But I thought, more importantly, second half adjustments. I thought they actually, changed the course of this game by their, counters to Washington. So I thought, sadly, very much like a lot of games that we've seen, tale of two halves. But this time, second half, I thought they played amazing. So they deserved to win that game and win big. Last touchdown that the Commanders scored was meaningless. But yeah, convincing win after a slow start.
Yeah, it's obviously frustrating start to the game when you come out and fumble the opening kickoff. The defense gets the stop. I mean, they hold them to a field goal. That's all you can expect given that field position. And then you go 3 and out, and it's just like, man, here we go. Of course, they get a touchdown, and you start to feel a little better. The empty drive, which was fun, but then you miss back-to-back field goals. So I felt like the offense moved the ball well in the first half, but just some poor execution, some poorly timed penalties. Obviously, the Jake Elliott issues that you mentioned leads you to be down 7-10 at half, but then they come out and second half, 17-play, 83-yard touchdown drive that burns 10:35 off the clock. 7-play touchdown drive after the short field on the interception. You do have a 3 and out, but then you have a 4-play, 80-yard touchdown drive. So, and then the end of game. So in true Eagles fashion, 3 of 4 drives in the second half were touchdowns, and of course the other one was a 3 and out. But it was nice to see them turn it around. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying the Commanders are a bad defense, and I'm not going to preface everything I say by saying that, like similar to last week in the Raiders. I'm just going to acknowledge that they're a bad defense, and then we can move on and talk about the fact that I thought the run game looked good in this one. And I didn't think it was a ton of... There were some instances of O-line still whiffing blocks and things, but I thought Saquon looked awesome in this game. It was nice to see Saquon back. That touchdown run he had where he spun parallel to the ground was insane. You see him use Jalen Hurts as a runner. He rushes 7 for 40, and they pulled back on that as the game kind of started to get out of hand, but I thought it was really nice to see the run game click. And it did it in an entirely different way than it did against the Raiders, and I did kind of want to see them build off of that under center run game, play action game, and they didn't really do that, which is kind of goes back to the identity things we've talked about before with, last week was the under center game, and we had the RPO game against the Giants, and it's just like they don't have a very cohesive offense at times, but I love empty. And I love under center. Yeah. And I like that the pieces are there, and I'm still hopeful that as these things start to click, they're going to be able to mesh that together into a cohesive offense going into the playoffs. So what were your thoughts overall just about the offense and some of that scheme stuff?
Yeah, no, just to kind of piggyback off what you were just talking about, you're right. They have shown the ability to be able to do certain things. Certainly not necessarily in one single game. But, I guess there's a part of me that has hope that, in a playoff game versus a certain opponent, that you would be able to switch those hats and be able to utilize those puzzle pieces, as you called it, to kind of get a victory in the playoffs. So it is good that they're kind of utilizing different aspects. And they're getting wins. Obviously, it would be nice to see it all in one shot, one game, mixed within drives. But I think, I'm hopeful that it's just, hey, let's make sure that this is working. And then, later on down the line. But yeah, I thought offensively, the run game was great. Saquon absolutely looked like Saquon, which was good to see. He got himself over 1,000 yards. When Tank was in, he looked really good. I'm glad. Congratulations on his touchdown. Obviously there was his first, a lot of emotion there. So yeah, hats off to the line for run blocking, for the Eagles for sticking with a run, and then marrying all that with some passing and while it wasn't perfect, there were certainly some drives, some plays that, looked really nice. And I thought Hurts played a much better game. So.
Yeah, for sure. Matthews chiming in here says he was at the game 10 yards from the field on the 5-yard line watching Saquon make that run, Tank make the run. Said It was the best time he's ever had at a Birds game. That's awesome. Always fun experience. I had a very different experience at a football game last night that I'm not prepared to talk about yet. So I'm glad you had fun at yours. Now, I had fun at mine too.
And that's saying something considering the stadium that they were in. Yeah. That is one of the worst stadiums in the league by far.
Yeah, for sure. I did have fun at my game last night. It just did not end like it was. I hoped it would, but I'm not here to talk about OU anymore. So yeah, I thought the pass game looked good again. I thought, the run game, honestly, I felt like the offense played pretty well despite the low point output in the first half.
Right. Yeah.
You just had some, inability to rely on your kicker, which I guess we can talk about then. Special teams, like if you want a blueprint for how to lose a game like this, it's fumble an opening kickoff, accidentally fall out of the end zone on another kick return, miss 3 field goals. Special teams miscues are a really bad way to start, but we probably do need to have a conversation about Jake Elliott because, Jake Elliott had missed, I think it was in 3 of the last 4 games, he had missed a field goal, and he'd also missed an extra point. And then he missed 3 field goals in this game, and only 2 of them are going to hit the box score because one was negated by penalty. But right. They go for 2 at the end of that game, and I don't know if it's because Elliott got hurt on one of those, or they're going to claim Elliott got hurt on one of those. I don't really know on that, but the Eagles definitely had it. The NFL, kicking is the easiest it's ever been in the NFL. You guys have all heard people talk about the K-balls and how those are handled differently this year. And I don't know. I love Jake Elliott and appreciate everything he's done for the Eagles, but I would be trying kickers out before the playoffs. Not that there's probably a lot of great guys on the street, but I have no confidence that if you need a 45-yard field goal in the playoffs that he's going to hit it.
Yeah. Didn't we go through a stretch last year where we were questioning Elliott and his accuracy, and then he seemed to kind of, turn it on when he needed to. So, and that was certainly earlier in the year. This is, we're talking the last month of the season, essentially.
Is he just conning everybody? Is that what you're telling me, Ryan?
No, I'm just saying, like, at least last year, it was early enough, and he was able to, turn it around and fix whatever the issues were.
Yeah.
But this is pretty late. I'm not sure, other than bringing in a guy just to make sure, throw somebody on a practice squad just so you have it. But yeah, I've lost quite a bit of faith in Jake, the not so make.
Yeah. Yeah. He was 10 of 11 in the playoffs last year, and his only miss came from 50 plus in the NFC Championship game. Right. I was going to try to look and see how long of a field goal attempt that was. It was 54. So I don't know. Maybe he just going to turn it on in January. Maybe.
Listen, the simple fact of the matter is, Elliott aside, he makes those 2 kicks, you're scoring 35 points. And that's 2 straight games, 31, 35. Again, we already talked about how bad their defenses were, but you still have to get, scores. So last 2 games, averaging 30, should have been a little bit more. That's exactly what we want to see. Now, obviously, it's slow, incremental steps up. It's going to be a little bit of a big jump going into Buffalo. Now, their defense necessarily isn't that great, but their offense can certainly turn it on and keep up. So, the defense is really going to have to win us this game, but also the offense is going to have to score some points too, because no matter what, Bills can score points and long drives, and that defense is going to be real tired. So they need to do their part. It's going to be quite the test, that's for sure, next week.
Yeah, it's one of those things I've kind of talked about is you come off the 3 straight losses and you play the Raiders, the Commanders twice, and the Bills. Now, you're going to feel really good if you beat the Bills, no matter what, because they have Josh Allen. But like just from an offensive perspective, putting up 28 points on the Bills, their defense is also bad. So like there's not like a good defense for the Eagles to play in this final month of the season where you're going to, at least where I'm going to be like, yeah, I feel really confident in this offense.
Right.
However, if you just keep stacking good performances, and especially if you're able to run the ball, I do think there is a mentality thing for offensive linemen that is going to be like, man, we have killed it on the ground the last month of the season. You know, we feel like we've got that momentum. We're feeling ourselves confident. So I think that can happen. I'm going to have a little bit of questions until I see it in the playoffs now at this point, because there's just no, I won't say playoff caliber defense because the Bills are going to be in the playoffs, but DVOA wise, they're the third defense. They're a below average defense, but you did what you need to do in this game. You did what you needed to do in the Raiders game, and that's dominate opponents you overmatched. And so hopefully we see a good outing against the Bills. And I mean, hopefully we don't see the starters week 18 because it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I would also, rest aside, and this isn't, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I already started to, so I'll just say it. I also just would like to see Tanner McKee play a game. I think he's fun to watch. So that's not an anti-Jalen Hurts thing. I've just always liked him, and I've enjoyed watching him have a different play style and how that fits. And I legitimately think he's never going to be a starter in Philly. I legitimately think in the right situation, he could be a decent starter. And I will watch him in 2 years, wherever he's at, if he gets a shot, because I think it'll be fun. He's a fun guy to root for.
Great.
So I would like to see him play in a meaningless week 18.
Yeah, but he's an easy guy to root for.
Yeah.
Even if he's on another team. And I know people have already started the trade McKee and sign Tua, talk after Tua finally getting benched. But yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. I think it's just going to come down to whether or not they actually get a decent offer if they're going to move from him. But that aside, you're right. Buffalo, again, you have the Raiders, which are pretty darn low. Then you have the Commanders, which are slight step above that, and then you have the Bills, which are a slight step above that defensively. So there is some stepping stones offensively to kind of make you at least feel slightly better. You're right, though. Not having a good defense to really play up until the playoffs is certainly not great. But depending on how this season shakes out, we theoretically still have a shot at the number 1 seed. We definitely have a shot at the number 2 seed, and obviously tonight's game, Bears-Packers, are going to help determine some of that. But I agree with you. If there's nothing to play for, if we're locked into the 3rd seed, yeah, McKee, let's see it. Let's see McKee play the entire game, and not necessarily rest everybody, but I would rest a majority of people. That's for sure.
Yeah. A couple other just little random things here. This was Jalen Hurts' 2nd straight game with a dropback success rate of over 50%. 3rd on the year, 2nd straight game. So that's trending in the right direction.
Always good.
Per Next Gen Stats, Saquon Barkley forced 6 missed tackles and a season-high 63 yards after missed tackles. And obviously a lot of that came on that long touchdown run at the end of the game. Sure. He rushed for 101 yards on 13 carries running to the left side. So behind the good part of I guess we can say in air quotes, part of the offensive line. And then we got a question here from Yako that I think is worth addressing, and we'll move to the defense. Who starts at right guard next week if Steen is suspended? I fully expect Steen to be suspended, and
it's potential.
I get it. Like I saw people kind of being like to see that fight in him, that sort of thing. I get like the grr mentality of it, but man, you cannot let a team whose season is over goad you into throwing a punch in a meaningless game and get you suspended for a game that matters. Like there's a chance now that Jalen Hurts is playing against the Bills. I mean, and they don't have a great defense, but they've got Von Miller. Like they've still got some guys that can rush the passer.
Ed Oliver's still there?
Yeah, behind a backup right guard and a backup right tackle, which maybe Lane Johnson's back. I would assume if it's close, they're going to bring him back now because of this.
I would assume to get him some playing time, considering if they don't have 18, to play, this will probably be his only chance to actually get a real game in. So if he's ready, throw him in there. But that's a great question of who would step in at that point. Is it Toth?
I would think it's Toth, but
yeah.
So Toth has played left guard,
center,
but
now right.
He only has 27 career snaps at right guard. So, maybe it's Toth. Maybe it is Matt Pryor, who has played a lot of right guard in his career. I think the Eagles officially have Toth listed as the backup right guard, so I would assume it would be him, but that's kind of where I think they'll go. But that does concern me, and I would imagine if it's close, Lane will be back now.
Yeah, but I will give Toth some credit. When asked to be a starter and having a full week of practicing, he's been more than fine. So I will continue to think that way and hope that he'll be fine in between Cam and Lane. And, especially if it's Lane, I'll be feeling a lot better.
Yeah, where Toth really struggled was when he got thrown into a game unexpectedly. Yeah. And I believe it was at a different position than he was expected to play.
Yeah, that was when he played left guard.
Yes.
And just got thrown in. And was not good.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk defense briefly, and then we'll get our 3 words and get out of here. Good game for the defense, I thought. I mean, obviously, you're going to give up a field goal off of that punt off of that kickoff at the start of the game. So they give up the field goal there. They give up a longer touchdown drive later in the first half, and that's it until they pull the starters out. So outside of those possessions, they gave up 9 yards, they gave up 12 yards, they gave up 24 yards, 18 yards with a pick, 6 yards, 4 yards. The defense played really well in this game.
Yeah.
What was your top takeaway defensively?
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. They start out, at the 30-yard line. So, and there were some penalties. There were, so it was great that they were able to hold them to 3. And again, that drive that they gave up the touchdown, again, that pass interference, threw them, insanely close. And it looked like they were about to shut them down again, but yeah, I thought overall, they played great, especially considering that Nakobe Dean was not in there for most of the game. I thought Campbell came in, played well. I thought Jordan Davis played insane.
Yeah.
Getting tackles for loss. I thought he was just being disruptive. And again, you didn't have Dean for 75% of the game, if not more. You still didn't have Jalen Carter. So these are all positive things to kind of look upon. Again, obviously you have an offense that doesn't have a lot, the backup and then the backup quarterback in there. And they were missing a tackle, Tunsil, and, blah, 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 blah. You can only play who you play, right?
Right.
So I thought for what it was, I thought they shut them down pretty well. They didn't let them get crazy. They didn't let them come back. Touchdown at the end. I didn't put any stock into that. They were just kind of trying to, slowly get out of there. But I thought the pressure was good. I thought Coop played a really good game. I mean, he read that interception. He was just waiting for it. I'm surprised that Josh Johnson threw. But I thought that was a good read on his part. But yeah, and they didn't let Scary Terry or Debo really do much. So I think, again, little positive takes that you have to take from a game that, isn't going to show everything, isn't going against the best opponents, but you still have to perform. You still have to do your thing. And again, I think their defense is playing absolutely insane those last couple of weeks. And considering Jalen Carter hasn't been in there, considering, you were missing Nakobe Dean, and God willing, he'll be fine. I'd certainly like to see his update. And
did they say it was hamstring? I think
I thought I saw hamstring. So obviously that's. I'm hoping they kept him out as more of a precaution. Like, hey, listen, we don't really need you.
Keep him out till the playoffs now.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't need to see him trying to come off a hamstring next week.
Yeah, right. But yeah, overall, I thought they played really well, and they're just gelling as a group, honestly. And it'll be even better when Dean comes back, when Carter finally comes back. They'll be even better. Again, super positive heading into the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean had 4 passes defensed in this game, which was a career high for him.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Second most by an Eagles defender in a game this season. Quinyon had 5 in Week 4 against the Bucks. Excuse me. So, yeah, obviously you hate to see the Nakobe Dean injury. Hopefully he's fine. Hopefully it's just a hamstring tweak. I would especially since the seeding is unlikely to be impacted at this point, and you spent a first-round pick on a linebacker, I would probably just, hey, man, take 3 weeks off. We'll see you in the wild card round, because that hamstring ties to so many other issues, knee injuries, Achilles injuries, like everything gets out of whack with the hamstring, which, I guess you could argue. A lot of organizations would say, well, he's not under contract next year, so who cares? I don't think the Eagles are an organization that approaches things that way. So,
yeah, no.
Then I think it's time for me to say I was just wrong about Kelee Ringo. I was really high on Kelee Ringo in his draft. And man, he's just not a playable NFL cornerback. Like, gets on the field and immediately commits the most obvious DPI ever on a 3rd and 20. Yeah. He's a good special teamer, and that's all I ever need to see from Kelee Ringo again. I think it's just been disappointing because I really, really liked him and was so convinced the Eagles got a steal when he came out, but he just cannot play with his back to the ball at all.
No, he never took that step that we all thought was clearly coming, and just kind of stayed par for the course. And yeah, he's really good at running down there and getting tackles on special teams. But unfortunately, I think you're going to have to figure out a better situation for the number 4 or 5 corner moving forward, or especially next year. It shouldn't be him, sadly.
Yeah, another comment here from Adam. Same with Sidney Brown, special teams only. I'm fine with that.
I said the same thing. He came running down. I was like, see? That's all you're good for, buddy.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that.
Whew. I didn't that hit he had on the punt. I mean, first of all, fair catch it, but
right.
When that came in low, I thought for a second until I saw that guy hop up, I was like, oh, that might be really bad. But thankfully everybody was okay on that one. I was telling my son, I was like, man, he's like, that was a good hit. I was like, I'd rather not see you hit a guy in the knees like that. But I was like, he was already stumbling, so it's kind of a what all you can do sort of thing. But you can get some pretty bad injuries that way. So thankfully everybody was okay. But yeah, Sidney Brown, Kelee Ringo, special teams, aces. I can work with that, but I don't necessarily want to see them playing defense very often. Actually, I take that back. I want to see them playing defense in every game in the fourth quarter because we're up by 4 scores.
Yeah, we're up by, right.
Yeah.
No, but unfortunately, I think they, again, they obviously have, Coop and Q, and Adoree has certainly found his kind of role these last couple of weeks, that's for sure. But for next year, they're going to have to figure out the true depth of corner and just make it so that Kelee doesn't have a shot at getting in the game, honestly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's go to our player of the games, and then we'll get into our 3-word reactions. So, Ryan, who do you have for your Eagles player of the game in this one?
I'm going to go with Jordan Davis. He just stuck out to me.
Yep.
So many plays, just clogging up the middle, getting tackles for loss, affecting throws. Jordan Davis has quietly been one of the best defenders on this team all year, and I am so in love with it. Seriously, I've been rooting for this dude to kind of really show it, and this year he's been doing it. Today he had another great game.
Yeah, he's just been so good over the last month of the season. He had 5 defensive stops against Chicago, 4 against the Chargers, 2 against the Raiders. I think I'm seeing that he had 3 or 4 tonight, which by a defensive stop is just a tackle that resulted in a negative EPA for the offense. So it's not necessarily a tackle for loss. Like 2-yard run on 3rd and 6 will also be a stop. But yeah, he's been really good, and it's nice to see him step up in that way. I was a big Jordan Davis guy too, and he still hasn't ever become what I hoped he could develop into as a pass rusher.
Sure.
But he's been a little better in that regard, but he's taken another step as a run defender, and I really hope the Eagles keep him around.
Have some, they definitely have some tough decisions. Nakobe, Jordan Davis. These are two main players. Reed Blankenship, Dallas Goedert. I mean, they really have some tough decisions to figure out what this team's going to look like next year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, my son picked Saquon. I was actually going to pick Jordan Davis, and you got it. So, well, I guess I say that. I can't actually pick Jordan Davis because my rule still stands that if you get an interception, you get a player of the game. So
that is true.
I'll give Cooper DeJean player of the game in this one. 4 passes defensed, including that interception. Yes, it's of Josh Johnson, but hey, an interception's an interception. So Cooper DeJean player of the game for me. Honorable mention, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
You got plenty of those. We didn't talk about this on the offense, but man, that throw and catch on that touchdown to Dallas Goedert.
What a catch.
Scrambling up through the pocket. I was like, man, what a throw. And then they showed like the back view slow-mo, and it was pretty wobbly. So it's not pretty,
but
the placement was
pretty,
perfect. And
exactly. He knows exactly how high Goddard can get and put it exactly there, knowing that Goddard is amazing at high pointing those type of plays and just couldn't have happened any other way.
Yeah. The catch reminiscent if it had been in the back of the end zone instead of the front.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Goddard climbing up the ladder on that one was pretty awesome. So
yeah, agreed.
All right, let's go to our 3-word reactions. Yakko chimed in with 2. Offense is okay? ? And then special teams problematic. There was no question mark on that one. So
no. I don't think
Ryan, what about
really
you? Do you have a 3-word reaction for this one?
Yeah, I probably have a couple I can think of, but first one that comes to mind is division effing champs. It's great to see it. Another one would probably be like Jake Elliott problem.
Yeah, Jake the Miss.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what stands out in my eyes is those 2 things.
Yeah, I went for the Jake the Miss, and then on the positive side, repeat division champs. So, or back to back, we could have either one of those. So.
Yeah, there you go. That works too.
If you guys have any other 3-word reactions, drop them down here in the comments, and I'll shout some of them out. Ryan, before we get out of here, is there anything else you wanted to shout out from this game?
It was like I said, it was an ugly first half, not exactly how we wanted it with the missed field goals, but they recognized what needed to be done. They made their adjustments. They shut down the offense pretty much from Washington, and their offense ran the ball in the second half, which I know there's been games where we've been begging them to run the ball in the second half. Again, they seem to have a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Let's just hope that they're able to put them in the right spots for the right games in the playoffs. And, again, magical things have happened. We've seen it before. So I think as fans, we need to stay positive and hopeful and be critical certainly when we need to be. But let's just keep hoping this train keeps rolling and crazy things have happened, right?
Yep. Hopefully so. I think, the defense is firing on all cylinders. And again, bad offense, but they were good against some really good offenses the Eagles are going to see in the playoffs earlier. Like the 3-game breakdown wasn't on the defense. So I feel really good about the defense. They're playing well. They're going to get Jalen Carter back. And I think if the defense plays at the level that we think they're capable of, you just need the offense to be like average-ish. And hopefully we're headed in that direction because it's been 2 encouraging performances. There's things you like from it. I'm a process guy, not necessarily a results guy. And I'll be digging into all of that on Monday probably. So I was going to say tomorrow, but I keep forgetting it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's throwing me off too.
So Adam chimes in with the 3 words, let's get better. Always a fan of that.
Always.
Too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that is going to about do it. Ryan, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Enjoy an Eagle-free, stress-free Sunday tomorrow. Watching the rest of the league, and let's hope the right things go for us to kind of keep us in play for a higher seed. But all in all, just enjoy it, and just make sure you keep following Eagles Pinpool Network for all updates, all shows, and wonderful post-game shows just like this one.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining in here. Everybody that's in the chat, those of you that are listening later on audio platforms, really appreciate you guys. The Eagles get the win. They secure the division. they essentially eliminate the Cowboys from the playoffs. There's still, like, I think a mathematical chance, but they're basically done too. So heck of a week to be an Eagles fan. I hope you guys enjoyed the game, enjoyed the postgame, enjoy a stress-free Sunday tomorrow watching other teams around the league. And like Ryan said, keep tuned in to the Eagles Pinpool Network. It is Christmas week. Shows will be a little weird this week, which we actually probably need to talk about off the air, but shows will be weird, but we'll have some stuff in your feed. There'll be things on the timeline and all of that. So you guys keep it tuned in here as you travel for the holidays. I hope you guys all stay safe. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will catch you next time. Go Birds.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
The Who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.